David Weaver,
Present.
Veronica Scher,
Present.
Matthew Robinson,
Here.
Donnie Green,
Present.
Lauren Schroeder,
Present.
John Hurd,
Here.
and Ryan Martin.
Present. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Green, and a second by Mrs. Sheriff to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, the agenda is approved. We begin this evening with our celebrations over the past month. Our first celebration is our farewell to Columbia Elementary School. A final open house was held in May for staff, students, and friends and neighbors of Columbia Elementary to take a walk down memory lane and reminisce about their experiences in the halls of the building. Thank you so much, Joplin, for sharing your memories and showing up to say goodbye to this building. We know Columbia's century-long tradition of learning and friendship will linger many years to come in the north section of Joplin. Mean Girls, the Southwest Missouri Regional Youth Theater presented Mean Girls, another summer musical crowd pleaser. A total of 64 students from Joplin, Carl Junction, Webb City, Neosho, Mount Vernon, and Carthage High School participated in 4 weeks of teamwork, intense choreography, and a lot of team painting. We have some Hall of Famers new to Joplin. Congrats to the legendary 2000 to 2003 Joplin High School baseball teams for their induction into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Coached by Kirk Harriman, the Class 4 Eagles made it to the Final Four 3 times during that era, a Grand Slam legacy. The team placed 4th at the state tournament in 2000 before winning it all in 2001 and finishing as state runner-up in 2003. With thrilling victories and unforgettable determination, the 2000 to 2003 teams demonstrated the true spirit of the game of baseball. Jefferson Elementary Family Event. As classes wound down this past year at Jefferson Elementary, the school held a school-wide read and family event themed around Sarah, Clayton's Hall. Each student received a copy of the book and was encouraged to read chapters nightly as a family. The family event highlighted the exploration of the one-room schoolhouse, gardening, farm animals, butter making, gunny sack races, covered wagons, and a picnic. Thank you so much to the teachers and staff at Jefferson, alongside helpers from George Washington Carver National Monument, Joplin High School FFA, Diamond Grove Adventures, and Bright Future Joplin volunteers for creating a memorable event to finish off the 2022-2023 academic year. The board would like to congratulate Joplin High School track all-state performers at the Michigan Class 5 State Track and Field Meet in Jefferson City on May 26th and May 27th. We have a few of those participants here with us evening. With a jump of 1.9 meters, freshman Cordell Washington earned an all-state finish and a tie for 6th place. With a time of 4.1301, Pops Campbell finished second in the 1600. Pops also finished 5th place in the boys' 800-meter run. The girls' 4x100 relay team of Abigail Eckert, Abby Mowry, Bryden Strickland, and Pia Vogel finished in 8th place. And at this time, we'd like to congratulate the young ladies who are here with us this evening on the relay team for their accomplishments.
We don't have our certificate, we're going to get that on its way.
Congratulations.
And the great news is you're all coming back, right?
Yes, that's great. Here you go again.
Next up, the Board of Education. High School National Education. Jenna Compton, Kate Tyson, Shay Knapp, Ty Matheson, and Asa Bodenberg. Jenna placed 30th in the nation in Lincoln academics debate and earned a 4-time national qualifier award. Kate Tyson placed 42nd in the nation in second ratings debate among a field of more than 1,000 competitors. So I believe that Kate's with us this evening, so if you'd like to come up.
And his competence.
Then she is competence here as well. Perfect. Good.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for everybody that joined us this evening for our celebrations of all the wonderful things that are occurring here in Joplin schools. As many of you know, about 2 weeks ago, the president of the Missouri State Senate and former Speaker of the Missouri House of Lockhart Joplin, native as well as supporter. And this evening, we'd like to have a short tribute to Ron and what he's done for Joplin schools. We would like to recognize one of Joplin School's biggest supporters, the late Senator Ron Richard, who passed away earlier this month. Senator Richard was a former Joplin City Councilman and mayor, and he truly cared about our community and Southwest Missouri as a whole. He went on to become the only public servant in Missouri's history to hold the highest office in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. And we were fortunate to benefit from his representation here in Southwest Missouri. Specifically, Senator Richard's care for our community, our schools, was demonstrated after the May 2011 tornado, when he worked tirelessly to gather resources to help rebuild and strengthen Joplin. He also had a strong role in helping to secure grant funding that led to Joplin Early Childhood Center, which has created extremely meaningful early education opportunities for so many Joplin students. His support for public education has left a lasting impact on what we are able to do today for our students and staff. So, on behalf of the Joplin School Board of Education, we would like to offer our gratitude to Senator Richard's family for his influence and support, as well as our condolences to all his family and friends. Thank you very much, Senator Richard, for your contributions to Joplin and Joplin School District. Next item, this is not on the agenda, so please bear with us, but we cheated a little bit because I added it since it's my report as board president. After many years, our board secretary, who makes this decision, by the way, probably wouldn't let me put it on, is retiring this evening, so we have celebrated her throughout the month of June, but we would like to do one last thing from the board to you. And we had a few cards and a few of your favorite things. So we can come over. We'd like to give you a backpack to wish you well. It's actually not a backpack, but it's more of a gardening pack, we'll call it that. And it's full of all of the items that we think that you really would enjoy.
Well, this is great.
So we are very thankful for everything you've done for us in Joplin schools, and that you've served so well as the board secretary for so long. So thank you very much.
Cute.
Next, our board data committee. You want to update on this item?
Sure. The data committee we met with is a pretty good room full. Most of the principals around the district were able to make it. Just discuss some of the high points and not many low points, but the high points of where we're doing, how we're doing across the district as far as proficiencies and the like, and discussing attendance around schools and some ideas and possible ways to handle those situations across the school district. It was a great meeting, as always. Sarah and her team put a lot of work into it, and it was a great opportunity to have a board member to get with those principals and talk about what they're doing and how they're achieving those metrics.
Thank you. The next item is an update on our board safety committee.
And those first things we went over after introductions were the safety security committee. And then Mr. Channel, who is our director of safety and security, went over our tornado season room, gave us an update, and we currently have 13 safe rooms, 12 in the schools and 1 at Young. And right now, all the rooms have been tested for remote opening, and they're designed to open when the tornado warning goes off. The safe rooms open, and one safe room has an assigned supervisor. And Mr. Eric Pitcher, Director of Technology, went over our cybersecurity update, and we see was the statistic. I thought, wow, over 99,000 people receive every week, and most of our cyber happen. So they've set up a number of areas to prevent. The department has 4 years of cybersecurity, and I'm going to name of these. If anyone wants to know more detail, please ask Mr. Fisher. The first pillar is advanced email filter. Second pillar is preemptive vulnerability screening. Pillar is partition network rule base. And then our fourth pillar is managed detection response. All of these, as Mr. Fisher explained, our network safe from outside malware and then Mr. Houshel and overall goals for fiscal year 22. Goals have been met. And the nice thing, as Mr. Hardy explained, is that all of the cameras and all the buildings are updated, and they're all and they're so that all TV and television will actually access that same camera system in the emergency or anything like that. So it makes better security and also working with law enforcement in the event and release. Next year, outlay in security entrances at a number of our buildings at our high school at Cecil Floyd. The Dover access control doors, have worked very well, and that's one of the things they're looking at, adding those to our other buildings to provide better security of entrance. And the next year, we will have more district participating in active shooter training.
Several years, we have convened a long-term facilities planning committee here in the Joplin School District. And this evening, we are announcing that we are doing this process again. Mr. Harding is going to work extensively on this with various stakeholders throughout the district and throughout the Joplin community to find the best course of action for Joplin schools as we move forward in our facilities. A lot of times in Joplin, it's a big district. We see there's a lot of buildings here. And we know that it's important that we keep those, maintain those, and that we set our students up for success in the future in those buildings. And that's what we can do, that is to analyze that and then make a determination as to what is best for Joplin students. So this evening, we announce officially that we will convene the long-term facility planning committee. Dr. Saketa, Superintendent, down the report.
Okay. Health insurance and dental,
Yes.
from Ms. Goff.
Okay, through the first 11 months, we spent $6,607,437, a little bit of change of the 7.5 million budgeted, which was 87.5% on our health and dental fund. We continue to see increases in our prescription cost. And in May, that cost was $310,839.62. So we've been meeting with Jamie Brummett on maybe some restructuring or maybe a few little changes that might have to happen this year with these rising costs.
We will bring our benefits plan to you for renewal in next month, the July board meeting. But our HPAC committee is currently reviewing what has come out from bid. And so we are currently taking in proposals and referrals from those that bid on our packages. So we are maybe looking at maybe a possible adjustment. If we have questions, reach out to us, we can discuss that.
Is that something that comes before us every year for
Yes.
approval?
Every July, we'll bring, usually it's in July, but we go through the same cycle every year. We have a committee, HPAC, that needs to work with that, along with Jamie Brummett, our broker. And Jamie will actually come in July and present to the board the changes in the benefit plan, if there are any. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
So any questions on the health and dental report? Okay, if not,
Financial?
on the financial, if you'll go to the condensed balance sheet, or the condensed financial statements that shows where we are year to date as far as revenue and expenditures. We've almost collected through May the majority of our revenue. We are seeing a few of in that other category. That is where we get tuition from other schools through like our Beacon program. So those invoices did go out and we have received a few of those payments this year before the end of June. We never know if they're going to hit in this fiscal year or next fiscal year. So, but that's where that is our main lagger in the revenue. On the expenditure side, you'll notice like the teachers fund, we're only through May, we've only paid 9 months of their salary because we do pay them through June, July, and August. So all of those will hit in the month of June. Those 3 months all show up as an expense in our financials. You will see those next month coming through there. We did still have $73 million invested with MoSIP and MoCat, with rates ranging from 3.159 to 5.21%. We have started bringing back some of those funds to cover year-end expenses. But any questions anybody has on the financials?
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Shelley. And Dr. Mwangi is going to talk to us about strategic planning as well as Ms. Coyne. So I'll leave the floor to both of you to enlighten us.
Yes, I am going to invite up Mr. DeSherry if he wants to make his way. And let me just say, this is a fabulous man because he hasn't officially even started yet, and he is here talking to you. So we hired a new assistant band director, as you are aware. So that is Mr. DeSherry's position. And part of what we wanted to do through the course of his teaching day is consider some additional electives that we could offer our students. And so next month on the consent agenda, you will see what he is going to share with you tonight in regards to some new music electives for our high school students. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. This year at the Music Educators Convention that we hold in January, the MMA conference, it was the debut of a new ensemble, and it was called The Collective. And The Collective basically grabs anybody who's musically talented that may perhaps doesn't fit under the umbrella of marching band, concert band, or jazz band. And what we got was just an amazing amount of just different forms of music. These kids got together and within 2 weeks wrote, I think, about 30 to 40 minutes of original music and performed for thousands and thousands of band directors. After that happened, we started seeing a lot of various districts providing a class that's kind of based on that. So I think the course description we kind of borrowed from, I believe Neosho is also doing this as well. So what's that going to do for us is it's going to grab more students and get them into the music building, maybe some that wouldn't perhaps be there otherwise. Under the curriculum, things that we're looking at offering, songwriting is going to be a big thing, recording, and we'll have a performance as well.
So super exciting. I think it's a new approach that they have seen successful to where we can capture kids. Marta knows electives are always a challenge. And so this is just another example within our strategic planning of how we are providing opportunities to our students that they've done a great job and are very excited to have him join us. So his first introduction, he gets to present to you. Looky there. So we'll keep him. But thank you for coming, and then we'll have a course proposal for you next month. All right.
All right.
And then thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate y'all.
And then I'll kick it over to Sarah, who I think is going to talk strategic plan update that you will also see this evening.
And Shelley talked to jump into this conversation a little bit as well. So, as we all know, sometimes we want to live inside a plan for a period of time, bump against kind of its boundaries to learn what's useful about the plan and what might need to be changed, which is exactly what's happened this year with our strategic plan on all here. This is focus area 2, which outlines instructional support goals. So while using this part of the plan to help inform our annual program evaluations, we noticed that the overall theme of the area is that whole top combined with the language and strategic focus is not foundational our purpose, which is to be measurably effective and efficient in the processes that provide instructional support. Neither of us want quite specifically measurable goals that will function as strong program evaluation. And we think these goals need to convey the fact that Joplin schools will use fiscal responsibility to be effective and efficient as we support high-performing classrooms. In order to create new statements and goals for this area, we worked with the leadership team cabinet and consulted parents and staff during a recent superintendent's focus group. Using those conversations as a guide, we are proposing the following updates to focus area 2. First, in yellow, a new statement to be the umbrella over the whole area. Joplin schools will use effective, efficient, and fiscally responsible processes to support district staff and operations. Then a new strategic focus 2.1 there in pink. Joplin schools will use fiscal responsibility to be effective and efficient in processes that support high-performing classrooms in measurable ways. We plan to accomplish that by wrapping measurable goals into each of our focus area 2 commitments for facilities, instructional resources, and staffing.
So the first one, strategic goal, the 2.1.1. The district will provide a safe and healthy learning environment and adequate facilities for students and staff. Joplin Schools continues to be strong in its financial position. As we're presenting our budget later in the meeting, you'll kind of see some of that. But we strategically used our additional CARES or ESSER funds for salaries of current staff and then repurpose those funds where we could move funds over to our capital projects funds. So that way we could build that up, as we know that the majority of our buildings or a big bulk of our buildings were built in the last there were 2 to 3, 4 years in period of time right after the tornado. And so we know that we're going to have a lot of roofs and HVAC systems are all going to come need replaced or updated at the same time within the next 10 years. So we were strategically moving those extra funds that were received from ESSER over to the capital projects for that purpose. Now the strategic goal 2.1.2, the district will provide resources that are essential to supporting instructional goals, including technology, textbooks, supplies, and instructional materials. The budget process includes discussions with technology, curriculum, department for their needs over the next year, as well as several years into the future. There was several when Sarah and I met on what was going to be needed in the classrooms, five years out, so that we knew what we needed to plan for this year and then each year where we needed to move those resources. And then strategic goal 2.1.3, the district budget will reflect a priority of hiring and retaining quality staff and supporting instructional needs to ensure high-performing classrooms. This year, the budget includes raises for all staff, and we do a comparison of our surrounding schools each year, kind of on the teacher salaries, looking at their beginning salaries, and then each 5 years where they're at compared to us. We did still see, we've been working on that for the past 7 years. Dr. Langford implemented that when he was here, trying to bump up those steps, because in the middle of our salary schedule is where we start losing staff, maybe to surrounding schools, because we were not competitive. So we still have a few areas in the 5, 10, and 15 years that we're focused strategically additional funds into those this year, and we'll continue in the next years as well, because we're not exactly where we want to be. We also formed a stipend committee this year that looked at all stipends in the district that pays how they compare with surrounding districts as well as COC, and we had a significant increase that we did for our stipends this year to help get us up to maybe not losing so many of our coaches or instructors in special areas.
We also moved out of 2.1, a goal about providing consistent feedback to employees, and placed it more appropriately in focus area 2.2, so now that's goal 2.2.3 that you see here. All of these changes we incorporated and provide purpose of the current budget 2.4, which we would delete so as not to reduplicate our goals. Proposed 2.5, which is addressing staff and student mental health. It's slide today. 2.4, so you can't really see this here. But this is the important focus area to make these updates will help us be able to measure our goals, provide data points to see how we're living into a strategic plan based on different facilities, instructional staffing, and kind of be able to measure our outcomes in a way that we can speak to do forward as well. And we'll update this on our website.
We're looking for, we don't have to look, we know what they are. We intended to measure a lot of things with perception data this year. Focus area 2, instructional support, and then the communications. But we have been brainstorming, and we are going to add to our scorecard some other measurables that might enhance what's going on as well. But we will continue to do our surveys annually like we have.
Just a poll, are there any public comments regarding post-agenda items? Thank you. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion by Mr. Bieber, a second by Mr. Roberts. The consent agenda as presented. We have discussion on the consent agenda. Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, the consent agenda is passed. The regular agenda, the JETHD agreement, CBA, and salary schedule. Mr. Roberts.
I would ask, Moses Albright and Carrie Bass, Mr. Walton to please come up here to the table. I think it's important for the board, I know we have several new board members as well, to know some of these names and some of these faces. The district runs in a bargaining cycle every other year. So we have JNEA, which is our certified staff with our teachers, and we have JESD, which is basically our classified staff. That's kind of how I look at them, that we bargain with, and we do salary and language, and we cycle those every year. So this year was language and salary schedules with JESP, and so we wanted them to bring them to the table so we can address the board. Tonight for you, we have the updated collective bargaining agreement with JSD and the salary schedules along with that. So Carrie, I'll take it, turn it over to you guys if you have anything you'd like to say to the board or address, and we're open for questions afterwards as well.
The ESP believe that we are the backbone of the district, and these employees make sure the schools are ready for students to learn and teachers to teach. JESP brought to the table a series of wages facing ESP employees, from working conditions to low wages. We are able to reach agreements on some of them and will continue to advocate for unresolved issues.
Does anybody have any questions of the bargaining group?
I'd like to say thank you so much for, our school, this, this for the top schools, administration also agreed. So thank you for stepping up and setting the leadership for your group. That is invaluable. And we stay there for all time.
Appreciate all your work in our buildings and all that you do to keep this school district. It's a clean facility, so thank you for your good work.
Yeah, so this year, we want to reaffirm our relationship with you through 2025. So I would entertain a motion to sign the agreement between JETHD and amending the current agreement to include updated cash salary schedule and implementation of the salary schedule for the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Schroeder, a second by I have any discussion, additional discussion on the item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Good. Yes. This year, we're gonna do things a little differently. We'd like to sign the agreement all together, just so, like I said, we can really affirm our commitment to JETHD.
It's not. Riley, you're up. Flash. Sharon?
Congratulations. Next item, we have a small.
Okay, tonight we're bringing the bill list to you in the amount of $11,335,867.89. A year ago at this time, it was $14,020,757. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Entertain a motion to approve accounts payable.
I move we approve the payment of accounts payable.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sherrick, and a second by Mr. Robinson to approve our accounts payable. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. This is top final budget adjustment for 2022-2023 school year.
Okay, tonight, we have our final budget adjustments, and as we talked about the budget before, it is a fluid document as we move through the year. Additional things, information comes in, different grants and things. Tonight, we're proposing an increase in revenue in the amount of $4,415,033, and an increase to expenditures in the amount of $4,083,524, netting to an increase of $331,509 in the fund balance. The largest expenditure adjustment is related to the approval of the early payoff of the 2013 general obligation bond maturity on March the 1st of 2031. And so that we paid that off, and that includes interest and fees for $3,413,833. We also experienced increase in the cost of food and food supplies as well. And then plus we're ordered a new delivery truck. It hasn't quite made it in yet, but it was added to the budget to do a PO out there. So anyway, that's what the bulk of the increases on expenditures were. On revenue, the main increase is related to lunch collections and federal and state meal reimbursements of $1,113,616, and then with the increase in interest rates, we're also anticipating an additional $988,947 in interest. Then delinquent tax collections have been very steady since February. We started considering everything that comes in as delinquent, and it's up about 2% over the prior year. So that's an adjustment of about $843,000. We also had some increases to Prop C, M&M surtax, which is the commercial property tax, different sponsorships, and some of those miscellaneous items amounted to $749,000. Also, our special services department, I want to give a shout out to them because they've been working really hard on counting all billable hours to Medicaid. So we're seeing an increase of that of $280,000. So, like I said, the debt budget adjustments is an increase of $331,509. If you look at the revised revenue and expenditure summary, which I think is on the next page, Eric, that shows the top section is where we started the year on fund balances. The middle shows our projected revenues and expenditures, and the bottom section is where we project our fund balances to be at the end of the year. So we're projecting unrestricted fund balance in our general fund of $42,088,532, and our capital projects fund to be $20,910,464 to help with those items I mentioned earlier. And then behind this is each line item, each function by fund and function, each expenditure change, as well as the revenue by object changes. Are there any questions on the changes?
I make a motion to approve the expenditure budget adjustments starting above the municipal light fund on the attached schedule in both the contingent revenue and
Second.
We have a motion on this, and we have a second on this, Jerry, to approve this item. Any additional comments?
Yes.
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 Good.
Yes. Next item, Mrs. Scott.
Okay, and we also must present our preliminary budget for 2024 prior to July 1st. So tonight we've brought that for you. This year I've put together the kind of a budget plan, kind of the process of what I went through as we came up with the different sources of revenue. We do have 5 different revenue sources. They are local, county, state, federal, and other. We're projecting 54% of our revenue to be from local sources, which includes local taxes, Prop C tax or tax on commercial properties, and interest earnings on deposits. Our county sources are generated from state and assessed railroad and utility taxes. That accounts for 2% of the budget. It's not very much of our budget. State revenues account for about 27%, and those come from the basic formula, classroom trust fund, transportation, early childhood and special education, and high needs funds. Both of these are reimbursements from the prior year expenses. 16% of our revenue budget is anticipated to be from federal sources, which includes ESSER 3, Individuals with Disability Act, title funding, good service, homeless education, and then Perkins funding for the career tech. The remaining revenue is tuition from other LEAs and career center fees. Our total revenue projection is $110,136,549. On expenditures, we're expecting expenditures to be $110,287,489 for the year. It is a little bit of a deficit, so we're starting to spend a little bit down some of our liquidity that we have there. We're also 80% of our operating funds, which is our general and teachers fund, is comprised of salary and benefits for Joplin school staff. raises were given to all staff members, and the budget also is including some increases for rising utility costs. Electric have increased 10%. We see major increases in electric bill this last year. Natural gas, it almost doubled this year, so I'm hoping that it's not going to go up that much again next year. Water, we know that we are been on notice that we will see water increases. I've got 17% increase budgeted there. Gasoline and fuel costs, I've got increases for that as well, and as well as health and dental increases. Supplies, professional development, and other purchase services make up the remaining 20% of our operating funds. And I mentioned earlier about the moving as much as we can to our capital projects fund. We're placing $2.5 million of our classroom trust fund into the capital projects, as well as our income surtax was expected to be a little over $2 million. And our in lieu of tax is $32,000 and tangible tax of $30,000. All those will be placed into the capital projects fund. And then we also anticipate being able to do maximum transfer. And that is because of ESSER 3 funds that we're expecting into the district this year. And behind, I've given projections showing just different graphs from the past 5 years, as you can see by fund, how the expenditures and revenues broken down. And also behind there, I have the same kind of recommended revenue expenditure summary that shows where we think our beginning fund balance is going to be in the middle of our projected revenues and expenditures the remaining, ending with a fund balance. And we're looking at unrestricted funds of $39,911,966 by the end of next year. And then I have supporting the next page is kind of snapshot of revenue and expenditures comparison by year. So I show total revenues for fiscal year 24 and 23 are both budgeted numbers, since they have final numbers yet. And then our fiscal year 22 and 21 are actuals. And it shows it for the total revenues and then each expenditure by fund. And we are anticipating receiving $6,114,000 of ESSER 3 funds, which are expenditures this year for ESSER 3 that will be then received as reimbursement next year.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to bring as a share to any additional discussion?
Just a question. We have so much of this ESSER money, which is COVID money, as some refer to it. The decisions we've made for salaries and operating expenses are coming out of recurring funds. So we're not relying on ESSER money to hire additional positions that would need us when that runs out, trying to pay that.
Correct. We've been strategic in freeing up some of our budget money that was for those salaries. And we have 20% of our ESSER funds have to be used for for the mental health and learning loss. So we've hired our teacher interns. Those are set to go away after this next year. We will no longer have the teacher interns because those were strictly with ESSER funds, but they were all have been told of that. But all the other things that we've recoded some of our teacher funds salaries to ESSER, and then use those funds that were originally scheduled for the teachers and were being placed into the capital projects fund to help that down the road.
And I know in the finance committee, we've had concerns that there are those that say we could be in some level of recession. And so we have a solid balance on funds, and then the operating costs that we're putting into this budget are not reliant on extra money to be ongoing. So in other words, when the money runs out, we're not going to have to figure out how we're going to pay the bills. And I think that our financial department has been really good in managing a very conservative approach. And this budget is well done. and lots of great information. So thank you. You've done a wonderful job and hours of time. So thank you.
Any additional comments? Hearing none, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. The renewal of insurance coverage for 2020.
Yes, so every year for the next fiscal year, we are to renew our insurance rates for property, auto liability, general liability, cyber liability, and workman's comp. So a brief history lesson is last June, we were informed that our property values were needed to be raised. They were very low in order to compensate us for 100% of our properties if they were damaged. So what the company that Alliance that usually does our property values, they only did half of our properties last year, raised them. This year they raised the rest of them to value. So with those properties being raised, as well as Dover Hill being completed, we are officially at the $500 million mark for total valuation of insurance. So I met with our broker last week, and I apologize, I was not able to get a lot of you because this is literally went up to the minute this morning to get this all wrapped up. The rates that we were offered due to inflation and due to natural disasters around the world were much higher than I expected. So we have been working back and forth diligently, and he has been working with our property broker to try to get those rates lowered. He was able to do that. So as you can see with the property, fiscal year 23 was 6.7057. The original rate, like I said, he got down the rate almost a point from the original, what was proposed. So as you can see, property is up a bit. And like I said, that's with Dover being completed. Summer went up just a little bit, and that's more because of the amount of money that we have as our revenue goes. Liability is going to go up. What I want to kind of point out here is on workman's comp, since we had another good year with our mod rate, it was at 0.86. We were given an automatically 5% discount for our workman's comp compensation. So that was less, still wasn't as low as we would like. And so we were able to drop basically what's called a COVID insurance. We were able to drop that. Many school districts were dropping it. And we were also able to remove Columbia and the contents, as well as West Central and the contents off of there. So there will be a bit of an increase, but we were also able to keep the $250,000 deductible that the board agreed to last year to lower the rates a little bit. We investigated a $500,000 deductible. Our broker said that was probably not advisable. And that would be quite a hit. And based on the experience we had this year with the $250,000 deductible, we really did not get close to that deductible. And so we thought that was probably the second place to be with our rates. So with that being said, we recommend the board approve the renewals of the insurance coverage for 23-24 fiscal year as outlined above.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Cherry, second by Ms. Roberts. Renewal of district insurance coverage for 2023 through 2024. Additional discussion.
Yeah, Riley, can you hear me? I have a question.
Yes, John.
What's the percentage increase year over year?
Matt, what's the percentage increase over here?
On the rate,
The rate?
is that what you're asking, the rate increase?
Yes.
Percentage increase.
So this one was about 5% increase from last
So
year.
John, a 5% increase from last year.
Okay, and if I recall, last year in this case, we did adjust some of the deductibles to offset, which was a rather large increase. So that's just 5% of the current deductible is in.
Correct. I think I understand what that's. Yes.
Yes, John.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you.
Hearing none, additional discussion. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Regarding proposed purchase for international school buses.
Yes. Well, due to supply issues and other situations in the busing industry. School buses are hard to get to in West. Matter of fact, the buses we ordered in 21-22, we just received about 3 months ago. So we're constantly searching for buses. A company in Tulsa, Midwest Transit, for whatever reason, had 4 buses that were ready to go to get relatively quickly. So we asked that the Board of Education purchase the transit buses from Midwest Transit as proposed.
Units have air conditioning on them of those 4.
One of them, well, the one that, yes, one of them will.
They have Wi-Fi on them as well.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, motion to approve the Midwest Transit unit due to market availability for $519,579 for the purchase of 4 new school buses.
So moved.
Second.
The motion by Mr. Green, and second by Mr. Weaver to approve this item. Any additional discussion?
Is the cost of these buses higher than usual, or is it?
It's about the same. It's not market rate right now.
Okay.
Hearing no additional discussion, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. Very good.
Okay, annually, we appoint our board treasurer by July 15th. And Shelley Toft has been serving in that role. Shelley, as we all know, is a licensed certified public accountant in the states of Missouri and Arkansas. She has an extensive amount of experience, and she's been serving that position the last 2 years. So we'd like to propose that Shelley be our board treasurer for the 23-24 school year.
Very good. I entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Shelley Toft as board treasurer for FY 2023.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sheriff and a second by Mr. Robinson. On this motion. Additional discussion.
Yes.
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 Yes. Mr. Harding, to approve funds for the purchase of 1
He skipped one.
Okay, so speed buses, with the approval from the board for the 5 buses, we noticed in the transportation department a need for basically in addition to our white fleet, some of our cars that we use for teachers to travel to professional development, or even for small groups of students to travel to events. The Yukon that we use is getting up there in age and miles, and so we are able to locate some vehicles that we qualify for a state bid. That are brand new and in good shape, and so what we would like to do is utilize those to, like I said, transport our students with each and debate, other activities, even athletes, golf, without using a school bus and a bus driver. We can keep those here routes to get our students home on time from activities. But at the same time, it's going to be very flexible with having vehicles available for our staff members. And so I asked that the Board of Education approve the purchase of a Suburban with the possibility of future purchases with the money that was originally intended for 1 bus.
I move to approve the Superior Chevrolet Buick GMC 2023 Chevrolet Suburban at a cost of $53,970.
I'll move.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Robertson, a second by Mr. Sheriff, excuse me, by Mrs. on the agenda item and discussion. Hearing none.
Well,
Yes,
I don't know if everybody can hear me, but I mean, on this particular one, I had asked that we put together an actual business case on it. It's an awful lot of money to spend for a Suburban, and I'm not comfortable that it's been done and on a portfolio. I really question whether we as a district need to spend $53,000 on a Suburban. Not replacing anything, not retiring anything. And I feel like we've been rushed into this one. And so for that, I'm going to oppose it because I don't think we did our homework appropriately and actually, looking through this and putting together the proper business case. Doesn't mean that we couldn't do that, but I don't believe that I or anybody on the board has the proper information on this one to make a sound decision at this time.
Mr. Murray, did you give, documentation on this?
Well, part of it was, we just found out about it last week. And in the meantime, between last week and beginning of this week, they had actually sold on them underneath us. And so it was that's part of the reason why the hurry for it. And like I said, the Yukon is aging as far as mileage and years. And so this was an opportunity we had. And so I did put together some numbers as far as, and I did use athletics, how often athletics would have used a Yukon or a smaller vehicle, how many miles that would save. And then also, Shelley and I this morning looked at as far as when a staff member takes a school vehicle as compared to when we reimburse mileage, how much those cost. And so, yes, I have put that together.
And this is replacing a 2012 model, so an 11-year-old vehicle, 180,000 miles.
Correct.
And we're using the $30,000 from selling a vehicle to also offset that cost.
Correct.
And we only have one in operation right now. Is that correct?
What, Yukon?
Yukon?
Correct.
Yes, we think for the duration of several years, the district, I remember us having two.
Correct. We've always had two.
At least that could carry that out.
And the reason for not getting rid of the Yukon is, I mean, it still runs, and so we can ride around town. I just don't feel super comfortable about putting kids in sitting at the Springfield like that.
That I'm not comfortable placing ours that have no students in the vehicle. It's close to 180,000 miles. Dr. Saketa showed that to the school association conference. It seems to be getting other years simply to say so. I think for me, like that, as well as to not have to bring to bus so buses for school runs, which is
How many vehicles do we have in our fleet, non-buses?
Not like the entire white
Cars,
fleet with,
yeah,
like cars that staff can use?
about
5.
are they pretty heavily used?
Very, at least 4 times a week.
But using them, it saves us mileage reimbursement.
Yes.
That's actually,
One of the things I get from the auditors every year is some of our like athletic director who is on the road all the time. We pay him an enormous amount of mileage reimbursement. And so they, would suggested that we would use a vehicle, and I've asked about that, and all of them always have kids. And so there's usually not one available for the staff to take. They're using them for kids to get them to places.
And we can, and you can in this market now, but we have also found vehicles that our people have worked on at Franklin Tech to recover, like front end or something, or a side. We was able to get a vehicle and put it back in service and be safe at the same time, but also be frugal with our money. So we have done a combination of everything. And so we want you to know that we're going to get as many miles out of the vehicle as we can.
so I guess from a cost standpoint, forgive me sharing this. So the average miles per gallon for a bus would be about 45 cents to the district. As far as Suburban, if someone were to take a Suburban out, it's 18 cents per mile. And then if you were reimbursing a staff member, it's 65. We're going to
65.5. Starting July 1st.
Starting July 1st. So the reality is, if we're 6 staff members on PD or something like that, or even taking students, having vehicles for them to travel in makes the most sense.
I think it does make financial sense, and I'd like to call the previous question.
Please.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes. Motion passes. Dr. Saketa, the appointment of the board secretary.
Okay, so Cheryl had to wait just a little longer, but that's okay. So annually, by July 15th, we need to appoint a board secretary, and this will make it official. We would like to recommend Cheryl Wortler be our board secretary for the 2023-24 school year. She's been in the district over 20 years and has spent the last several months training under Pat Waldo, and she's very ready and we're excited about her.
Entertained a motion. Cheryl Morris, for Secretary, 2023-2024 fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Schroeder, a second by Mrs. Strickland to appoint Cheryl Morris, Secretary. Discussion on this topic. Thank you, Cheryl, for agreeing to what you've done throughout the year. Hopefully, it's really great that you're with us. And you're a long-time employee of Joplin Schools, and we're blessed to have you with us. Please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes. The Franklin Tech RM program additional.
That was close session.
Yeah, it was, but it didn't, yeah, it's on,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll say it's.
My apologies, but that's on those placement. Plus deltas this evening. I'd like to begin with the plus. I think Joel where we're working for our employees in a professional way, and I want to commend Justin Crawford as well as his team on that, the JETHD team as well. We really, in the district, were able to take care of those who were taking care of them.
Thank you.
I plus this is the last week of summer school, and the kids at Irving have really enjoyed it. My 3 kids at Irving have a lot of positive feedback about what they've been doing, the activities, learning, and that the ice cream day, they were really excited about that. So, yeah, so summer school is getting ready to end. So.
Red Paper Day, we had a couple of grants that we received, so thankful for our staff and always looking for ways to increase revenue sources. So thank you and well done.
I'd like to thank all the administration. Last week we had our board work session, and they put a lot of work into the preparation for it. Great information. Always great to have a chance to hear from each of you. I just want to thank you for your continued dedication and work for the district.
And I would say it's a plus to have some new electives at the high school.
Very good. I didn't make a motion to close session.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
Yes.
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 Yes, meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.